performing and getting an audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, listen, aren't we lucky that we got that song? Because that we're starting from a higher point.
Yeah.
Uh, one hit wonder. Okay, so for the vast majority of people who know that song, they that's not a bad thing. I think for true
I
music
don't think so.
fans would know more of our music because they listen to our albums, and
Oh,
you
it's a
know
gateway drug.
it, it's
You
the
know?
gateway drug. It's the gateway drug, and I think I know a lot of people say that um they they bought Unbelievable in the first album when they were like 12
Hmm.
and were listening to pop music, and then we released our second album and they came to our shows and they're like, oh my God, what is this? This is enormous. And it's funny, amongst the fans, our second album, Stigma, is the favorite album
Yeah.
because it's like it has more depth and it's harder, and so we sort of introduce people to another side of music. And I think, and I'm proud to have done that. And I think um was it so successful? No, but I don't think that all of those people would have come to listen to us anyway. So I know, I think the
Right.
people with good musical taste are EMF fans. We've filtered them out, and the good ones come with us. So if you like Unbelievable, come and have a listen to some other stuff, and we might let you in the club.
Well, that's funny tongue in cheek. But it is to me. So I knew the song, and I was working for a record label, and I listened to a lot of heavy music. I listen to a lot of stuff, but I love a good pop melody, so I'm open to a lot. So when I saw the show, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun dance show. It was not like a hits. It didn't feel like a radio type of homogenized music. It was a dance. It felt very dancey, fun
Yeah,
show. It had different
yeah,
energy than what radio I was hearing for pop radio in the USA at the time. That
yeah,
would make me a fan, you know. Um, and I'll say now the newer album, Beauty and Chaos, it was just 2024 came out. It was just came out a couple days, not that long ago, really.
yeah.
That is a very mature album, and I think it's probably your best album, like songwriting and cohesiveness. I just think it's a million miles better. I mean, Unbelievable is a fun song, but these are better songs.
Well, well, thank you for saying that, Sean, because I think we feel that too. I think we're in a really good place.
Hmm.
We James has done his solo album. I've been writing songs for ages, and
Yep.
we sort of rediscovered something that was always there, which is the chemistry that James and I have, and our
Yeah.
love of guitar, hard guitar riffs,
Hmm.
um, electronic music, great beats, and great melodies, and saying something, and you know connecting to what you feel, and sharing that with other people. And I think there's something very very honest about the album, and the Beauty and the Chaos, and I love it. And I think there's a song on there, the day the music died, which is James and I both say it's the best EMF song ever written, the best song we've ever written, and it feels good. And I know it's a strange thing because Unbelievable being your first record, it's sort of, in terms of success, it's been downhill from there. My whole musical career has been downhill because Unbelievable was such a pinnacle. But creatively speaking, I think we're still going and we're still on our way up. And we've been working on a new album, and I feel
Okay.
already there's a couple of great things on it. So I hope that we will continue producing good music.
I think so because like I said, in the album for that was good. But I mean, this album though, this last album is really good, and I think with it, I say going down. I mean, commercial success. If you look at any single band, almost every band has gone up and down. Whatever wave you hit, whatever age group hits it, it's usually that late 18s, 20-year-old group is when the fan base hits it, and then everybody goes to college, or and then leaves college, goes to work, has families, they stop buying records. I have a whole theory on this whole thing, and it depends on when your album hits. So that's just popularity and money and sales when the banks, I mean, record labels, put your albums out. As far as an artist goes, you've only grown because you're continually writing better songs. Every
Yeah,
song on this album is better than unbelievable to me. Now, can you dance from the same? No. But are these better songs? Yeah. You know, I listen to this album more than I listen to the old album.
Yeah,
But I'm a
yeah,
song, but I'm a person who loves a good song. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I
right.
like the lyrics, I like the melody. I don't think a lot of bands. I think what's really great from your time period, you guys, Jesus Jones. There's a lot of bands that came out that were able to balance the guitar with the beats and electronics perfectly. Because you can, if you go too far one way, it's just a mess. You know, and I think you know what I'm saying because it's just like it just sounds like you just throw a guitar in there, or it's just like you're playing guitar and you're just like keyboards are background instrument. But to find the balance and then allow the rest of everything else, the song, the lyrics, everything to work and be a good song, that's really the challenge.
That's the holy grail. It's funny as when I was younger, I played in a sort of indie guitar band, and we had a record deal, and we had a producer, and I kept saying to him, well, you know, I love those beats, like, you know, the dance records and stuff, and you know, when
Yeah,
I try something a little dancey, and my producer in the time, and this was in the early '80s, said, no, you've got to be one or the other. You know, you got to choose what you got to be. You can't be both. And I was just like thinking, nah, 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 nah. There's got to be a way. And I think around, you know, so the early '90s, as I grew
yeah,
up, I think there's probably been a many kids that had, you know, that had had those great indie guitar bands like Smiths and Echo and the Bunnymen and
yeah,
The Cure, you know, around us, and so we've been in bands like those. But then we heard those great records coming from the States, like Public Enemy, and those you know, bands like De La Soul, and those
yeah.
hip hop rhythms, and they're just like, they were so good. And that's when that sort of those bands came out of the UK, like Happy Mondays and Jesus Jones um uh and Stereo MCs and Pop Will Eat Itself, that took those things because they were around us. We'd go to a disco and you'd hear the Smiths and Public Enemy in the same disco, and in the same club. And so, you know, that's finally
That's a pretty
that
cool
came
club.
together.
That's none of the clubs I ever was in. That's pretty cool.
Right, it's good. They were cool clubs because that's what we were into. And um so we tried to put it together, and you know, we experimented. We tried it this way, tried it that way, and then, you know, some people made it work. And um so, and I still we
Not a
still
lot of
love
people
those
can do that
things.
though. So I mean, it still was kind of good advice. You should pick one that generally is a good advice. Now, an artist should always rebel against it, but in hindsight, a lot of artists can should go back and go, you know what? I should have picked a lane because not everybody can take the amalgamation of different things. That's usually when you
Yeah,
stand out. That's usually when you have these standout songs, these standout album, these standout sound. Someone's got to come up with a sound, but along the way, there's
yeah,
a lot of broken eggs. You know, like what they say
yeah,
was
yeah,
it's like a Gordon Ramsay or one of those restaurant shows. And you're like, pick a basic menu. You can't do
yeah,
everything. Very
yeah,
few people can do everything and do it well. You know,
yeah.
I mean, we'd all like to have an egg roll, taco, pizza, but it's not going to happen. Stay in lane. You know, so for you guys to do the dance with the guitars, I enjoyed it because I love good guitar. So to me, and I have the pop sensibilities, that kind of drew me in. And then seeing it live, to me, that sealed the deal. I'm like, all right, I'm a fan. You know, after that second album, which I liked, it just life just stripped off like a lot of us. You know, but with the internet, I'd be able to go back and things that go to my feed. I go, oh, check out, this is cool, this is cool. And then this last album really kind of brought me back full circle again, though. You know,
Right.
now I'm excited to be back. You guys are doing stuff again, you know. And the only thing when a band kind of breaks up or takes a hiatus, fans don't want to be as invested because it feels like it's, you know what I mean? It's that they play the same album
Yeah,
over. There's something new coming. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like watching a series and it's not going to be, it's the end of the series. They're not going to make any more
yeah,
episodes. You know what I mean?
yeah. Right, right. And but if I mean, I hope that, I mean, James and I are both quite experienced songwriters now, and it's like, you know, I think we feel like we've got something to offer. And it's funny because I've gone off, as you say, I know I wrote songs for, you know, pop songs for Beyonce and Shakira and other people. Did some work with Prodigy and with Ian Brown,
Yep.
and when
Excuse
I
me.
look at everything I've done, the thing I love doing most is writing songs with James, because there's
Yep.
something about it that's just feels pure and honest, and it's like I can be myself and he can be himself, and I think we join together and we're sort of greater than the sum of our parts. And and I think maybe with him too. I mean, his solo career is amazing, and I mean,
He does some
he
good solo stuff too. I've checked it out. I do enjoy
right.
that too.
And
Um,
I think he really saw through because he always loved the dance. You know, he was the dance side, I was the rock side,
yeah.
and we put it together. So, and sometimes I think he just wanted to have some songs with no guitars on them and just have some beats. You know, and so good. He's got that out of his system. You know, and then we're just doing, I hope, good stuff, and we're enjoying doing it. So, I'm sorry. It's funny. The other day, I wrote a song with Richard from Hard-Fi.
Mm.
I don't know whether you know the band Hard-Fi. Great band. And he too, they split up after a few years. They had a hit record and then split up after a few. And both of us were saying to each other, I wish we just carried on, you know, because, and I guess maybe you got to go off and you got to go and have your odyssey. You got to go and try and find the Wizard of Oz. But then you get there and he's just this little old guy behind the curtain, you know, and you think, I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going back to the Forest of Dean, like in that room with
Sometimes
my
it's
mum's
better though,
piano.
don't you? I mean, do you think you would have gotten to where you are? Like you wouldn't have known this to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think if we're always it would have been great if it was perfect. Yeah, if you guys had no problems and but I've seen so many different versions of everything. And sometimes I almost think breaking up at a certain point where it's such a clean, hard break with space where it's forgivable, than dragging it out like some awful stay together for the kids type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And then like you guys are
yeah,
visiting, like
yeah,
Unbelievable is coming and visiting you on one weekend, and then the next weekend James is driving Unbelievable in a buggy, right?
yeah.
Around the park. You guys are taking turns. You guys have just a
I
clean
love that
break
metaphor.
where where it's the healing is different. You guys are younger and you went out and experienced what life is like, and you came back and said, "Oh, you know what? To find a special writing partner is I think part of the key ingredient for a lot of groups you can
Yeah,
trust. I mean, you guys can
yeah,
not anybody, but to have someone you can like lay it in front of them and just your worst, you can sing off a key, play bad notes, embarrassing lyrics, whatever, and just put it out there,
yeah,
worse than all. You can't. You're not going to do that to like in a Beyonce studio situation, or like I'm
yeah,
saying, I'm saying, well, James, you will. You're going to come in here in
yeah,
sweatpants, and you're just going to lay down there the rawest thing, and you guys are going to create magic. It's a different world, it's a different mindset. And that's what's special about a lot of songwriters when you have that gift. And if you didn't leave it, you may not have realized how good it was.
yeah.
That's the other perspective.
Thank you for that. I like that. That makes me feel better.
You're welcome. Yeah, I
I'll take that.
mean, we are the sum of all of our successes and failures is what makes us anything. So I mean,
Yeah. You know
we
what?
are who we are. And what if you guys had another good hit album and you guys got so big, then somebody failed, somebody drug overdosed, and then somebody did this. And, you know what I mean? Life's
Yeah,
kind of a mess. You got the success and you get to build off of it.
yeah,
A whole career. But as a songwriter, to continue to write and keep doing stuff is a challenge. And I think saying unbelievable is a gateway drug in a way it is because it'll go, oh, I remember them. No, because a lot of bands I talk to, I love having bands and people go, oh, they one hit wonder. I'm like, oh, you're so wrong. This band has a new album out. It was so good. They were great songwriters, and that song got in the radio because it was accessible to a lot of people. But it was a
yeah.
good album. The whole
It's that.
album was
It's
good. And then
yeah, like Talk. You know, that Life's What You Make It. People know that
yeah,
at Talk. But when you listen to Laughing Stock, you're like,
yeah.
whoa, like there's a whole other dimension to them,
There's a
and
lot of
you
bands
know,
like that. Actually, I have to
yeah,
say, and this is the hard part for my age group. A lot of '80s bands
yeah,
that have
yeah,
that was still, despite what's going on with them, are putting out solid catalogs to this day. That you're like,
yeah,
didn't they? I mean, I was talking, like OMD. Didn't they do If You Leave? I'm like, you have no idea the quality of albums they're still putting out. Like, people need to go back and go, did you like the '80s? Then listen to all their albums of all the good bands because they're
yeah,
solid. They're solid. All these guys, you guys, solid albums, solid albums. You have a couple out there because you guys had a couple breaks, you know.
yeah,
But man, like this new album's perfect. It's like that's the path to go on. You got a fun album. You have some other good albums that get heavier. But this is your album, the last one. I'm excited for the new one that you're talking about writing more
yeah.
music.
That's some good. It feels good. Feels good. Gary Newman, he's another one, isn't he? Although he did have Friends
Gary,
Electric and Cars, a couple of big hits, but then he completely reinvented himself, like as this sort of dark electronic metal thing, right? And had a whole new career. And
can I
um,
talked to him and don't maybe bring other artists, but this is interesting. Uh, we got on, and I think one of the realizations with him and everything else and who he is because I have autism and he has autism. I think as he discovered himself and his autism, I think that was a big part of his discovery of who he was as an artist. You know what I mean? Because you get trapped in who
Yeah,
you are, what you want of people, and how you be. But once again, another great. But he has different phases of his career. Like I think you guys are consistent as a band. You just albums and your songwriting gets
yeah,
better. Like he actually has different phases where his fans are like, "I like this version. I like this version."
yeah. Right.
I'm
This
like, I
this
just like it all.
phase. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I like it all. It just
yeah,
depends on what mood I'm in. I'm a what kind of mood am I in guy, you know?
yeah.
And I think some albums are better for the things if I have an interview say with you, what I do is I take the newest album, I'll put my headphones in and do like yard work, and I'll go for a ride, and I'll go for a walk, and like what mood does it is best for this album? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yours is definitely a chill out and have friends over in the background type of album because it's kind of fun outside, summertime music. You know what I mean?
Cool.
That's definitely what it's a
Yeah.
kind of a chill out, fun album. At work, it's a good upbeat album. It's good because the world's kind of downbeat right now. So
Yeah.
it is. Now, are you drawing? What about the song, like lyrics? Because he writes his own stuff and you've done your own stuff. Are you guys combining like your songs themselves writing, or like how's that working for your songwriting? If you guys at this point,
Yeah. Well, but every which way. There's a sometimes
no.
James will come in with a completely finished song, and I'll try and rewrite the lyrics, and I'll be like, no, I can't make them better. They're really good, and because
Okay, so
I'm
there's
an endless
humility.
fiddler. There is humility. There really
So
is.
that's good,
Uh,
beautiful to hear though, because sometimes forest through the trees,
yeah.
that's always that's
Yeah. And so you can make things worse as well, sometimes. And there's times I'll bring him with a whole song, and then there's times when we work together, and yeah, there's one song called "The Day the Music Died," and most of it was written, but it didn't really have a chorus, and I just sort of wrote the chorus, uh, for it just from where it was going,
mhm.
and that was a really great collaboration, and I love that song. That truly is James and I, and
It's
um,
a good song. I mean, they're all good songs. I don't think there's really a sticker on that album actually. To be honest with you, I can't think of
oh,
anything I
thank
really I'm
you.
like, oh, skip. It's a really a full. I'm a full album guy, so I kind of take notice if I'm gonna listen to something. I don't want to be changing and skipping songs.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So to me, it's a full album. Now, with the songs in the breadth of music you have now, songs you're playing live, obviously unbelievable. You probably got to do a couple of other hits, earlier stuff. Sneaking in new stuff down to the crowds. How's it going over live?
Yeah,
Challenging
I
at
mean,
all?
I when you go see bands and they play the whole new album, I'm always bored out of my brain. Like you need the hits in there, and I think even though I say it so myself, I think we're a great live band. But it's about the energy, it's about connecting, and
Mhm.
so there are certain songs that have always worked live. There's some tried and tested things, and we love playing those. But I must say that some of the songs from the Beauty and the Chaos from the new album, we play them, and it's almost like we've been playing them for 30 years. And particularly, the day the music died, that goes down really well. And the song "Reach for the Lasers"
Okay, yeah,
really
this is it.
works um, really, really well. Um, and so I don't know. I think we have a really good balance of things, and we're just doing a few dates in the UK next weekend, and we're putting a good representative set together. Lots of Schubert Dip, lots of Stigma, a
Hmm.
few songs off Beauty and the Chaos, but at least one song off Cha 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 and one song off Go Go Sapiens. So it's a good balance. It's got because everything you'd expect, all the old hits, and enough new stuff as well.
I see where being needs to do the old hits as a fan of music at this point in my life. I'm okay with hearing as much new stuff as possible because I have the old albums. I've also seen most of the bands already, and I've heard them do the old hits, so I don't need to every year see them come
Yeah,
through and do the greatest hits album. Now, I don't take it from a band for doing it. If they enjoy it, that's awesome. Good for you. Take the paycheck. You're a performer. Sing. Do what you want to do. As a fan, I wouldn't be bummed out if I heard more new music from them. You know,
Now,
But
maybe,
that's
hey,
me.
listen, when we come to the
There's not a world
States,
full of me though. There's not a world full of me paying for tickets though. So I get it. Just economics. You know what I'm saying?
well, yeah, we always try to do something. I mean, I don't know. We've tried various songs from the new album. We'll put one in one day and one in the next day. So we get to,
Yeah.
so people get a treat of something, and the ones that work consistently, we stay in. They get their trial, and if we feel like they're really connecting, then they'll stay in. But we love trying new things. And on this tour, maybe we're doing. There's an old song called "Far From Me," and there was this great remix of it called "Phantasmagoric." And we've
Yeah.
taken the remix and a bit of the original song and mixed it together in a sort of live mashup.
Well,
Um,
that's something you
and
could
that's
do
really
with your
exciting.
kind of band though, is you could do those with even with your new stuff and your old stuff. You could do weird mashups from one old hit song that the fans are loving, and you could slide in for a couple minutes into a new song and slide back out again, back into another
Yeah,
song that was old. And you're
yeah,
like, it's like a
yeah. And
baby, you're
there's
sneaking the medicine in with the food, and you're like, wait a minute, thanks for your new song.
a spoonful of
Yeah,
sugar.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just because it's like you're
um,
not expecting it because people want what they want,
yeah, yeah.
and that's a
And
hard,
and, and you look at the audience's face, okay, and you can see when you're connecting with them. You see when they're into it, and then the moods, and you get the mood going, and you want that. You don't want to lecture them. You
Oh,
don't want to
I
let
don't know
them.
how artists. I give an artist and we go out there like I remember the first time I saw a band just do like all no hits, like Black Crowes, like in the '90s, like did we're not gonna do Toxic Angels, we're not gonna do anything. I went to the show. The first they did nothing that and I was like, what? And also like halfway through the set, I go, I get it. I can go home and hear the album. This is an experience,
Ah,
but not everybody wants an experience. Some people just want live music at a dance party. Now,
yeah, right,
but
right.
I could never be an
That's
artist. And I've seen an artist now go play, like, say you're doing your stuff and say you don't do a song and you're staring at the audience and you're doing a song you're proud of. And they're like, I want to hear Unbelievable. I couldn't do it. I'd be like, all right, guys, we got to switch up songs. We got to play Unbelievable. Like, I give an artist so much credit to play something that they know the audience is like, beer break and go through it every night. 100% props. Not a lot of bands do that anymore.
Well, when you'll see if you come and see us play. I mean, when we play Unbelievable, the place goes crazy, and what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I love that, and but maybe the reason you've got a podcast is that you're a proper music fan and you love the
Obsessed.
depths of things, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want to go into the other layers, don't you? You like, and I guess we got to. There's a variety of people out there in the audience, and you got to try and pitch it right. But we're good. We're going to give you a
You got
couple
to
of.
pitch it to the
We love doing new
85%.
things.
You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
big thing. You got to pitch it to the hits. I get it. I get it. I'm not, I'm not a madman.
But we always
Like,
we
but yeah,
always try and do interesting things. We did a tour a couple of tours ago. We did songs that were relevant for every town we were playing in, and we did the EMF version, and we played in Cardiff in Wales, and we did "It's Not Unusual" by Tom Jones, and we love Tom Jones because
yeah,
he used to do
yeah.
Unbelievable when he was singing in Vegas, and
I
we did
saw
a
him
real
do
proper
Unbelievable actually
EMF.
when he played it in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah,
Ah, love that man, lovely, lovely man.
he is great. He is a
Um,
voice. He's
yeah,
the only
right.
man that I will ever say it's okay if he wears one of those mesh tank tops. He's the only guy I'm okay with wearing that. At this point in life, once you're not a teenager anymore, you cannot wear those except for him. He gets the pass because he's
Yeah,
Tom freaking Jones.
yeah. I
But
love that.
I think it's cool. You try to mix it up though, and you do stuff. Are you going to be? I didn't even look at the dates. U.S. dates
Yeah,
at some
yeah.
point coming
US
up.
dates. Yeah, we are going to be on the West Coast or from June. I think June the 14th. We land, and I'm going to find out these. And yes, here we go. Okay. So yeah, June the 14th, San Jose. June 15th, San Francisco. Portland, Seattle, Salt Lake City. Denver, Phoenix,
Yeah,
San Diego, Santa Ana, Los Angeles, and finishing in Las Vegas on the 28th of June.
oh,
Um,
that's good
so
for
we are
you.
looking forward to that.
It's bad for me because there's no East Coast dates. I'm near Boston and New York, so I'm in Connecticut. But it's good for a lot of fans. Though. Those are good. Those are good places for the fans to be. Those are good central places. you know.
Yeah, no, it'll be
So,
good. It'll be good to be back in the States and see those people again. And hopefully we'll come on the East Coast before too long as well.
yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see you guys again. It's only been, since 1990 or 91. So it's been a while.
Well, just let me know when you're coming, and we'll do
I
something
would, of
properly
course.
esoteric for you. Okay, we'll just do some
Yeah.
like
Well,
some
as soon as you guys come nearby within a close
yeah.
drive, we won't take a flight. I'll come down and we'll hang out. We'll do that.
I'd love
But I'm
that.
looking forward to this. Uh, People check out the album. I'll put the links below on tour. Uh, Obviously, you're on tour. Your side of the pond right now, playing everywhere. Follow you on the
Yeah,
website for the dates and updates. Instagram, all the links will be below as usual. Um, and obviously, when the album comes back, when you get the new album ready, the new one, I want you to come back and we'll go through the
yeah, I'd
tracks.
love that.
We'll just break
Yeah,
them down and get nerdy.
yeah, I'd
I do
love
that
that.
a lot. All right. I want
Yeah.
to thank you. Any closing things we didn't cover to share with the fans?
Just come and see us play. I think that's the thing. And um, you're taking your gateway drug now. Now come and have some serious dark drugs. Come see us
It
play
is like
live.
it is. I mean, people really do. I do want to say
That sounded really bad. I'm sorry. No,
yeah,
that's
there you
totally
go.
metaphorical. That
No,
was
there's our clip. There's our clip. Stop ruining the clip. No, no. Seriously, like people have fun, does some fun dance songs, and it's just good. But it's not just dance songs. It's like if you like a dance song, Beauty Case has like this really great harkens back to like it knows that you guys grew up to good like good pop music, both generations of pop and disco. It feels
yeah,
like that both those carry over
yeah,
in your soul when you wrote this album because there's got this great discotheque vibe where it's not just pop radio. I mean, you can play whatever you want on radio, but I'm saying it's not. It's just different. It has a more of a. It's not hit single oriented. It's just dance and groove oriented, which is
but
much more rewarded.
yeah. I mean, it was funny. We're still trying to do that thing, like when I was told I couldn't do it, like putting
Yeah.
dance music with rock music, and I love that clash of the cultures. And I know we should have stuck into one lane. We'd probably be more successful if we'd just been a
No.
rock band or a dance
No,
band.
you wouldn't have. No,
But
you
you know
wouldn't have.
what? Because I did my
I
time
doubt
as
it.
an A&R guy, and I would have advised me against doing what we do. I'd have said, you gotta, because you gotta, especially in the States, right? Because you got to be on one sort of radio station. What are you? You hot AC or are you
Right.
pop? Which one are you?
But in the day you
And
would have. But looking back now as a grown adult, would you look back and say it? Like I've talked to literally five. I don't remember 500, almost 510 or 600 interviews of musicians from Arthur Brown, Pete Best, all every genre, every rock group. Really get a good idea of what people have gone through and the struggles before and after the show. And I think you're on the good side. You guys are on the good side of it.
yeah,
Even the joke of the analogy, the break. But I mean, this is surviving. There is no, and everybody that reached for what they wanted to. If you are a middle lane rock band, you better be the best rock band. If someone's telling you what you need to be, then you're
yeah,
not that band. You are those are the bands that succeed. So you guys knew who you were, your sound, what you were aiming for always. That's it. If every
yeah,
album has failed, but everybody's
exactly.
going, oh, they told me this band I should go this way. It's failed. I feel like I've
Yeah,
seen like so much information. It's like a class on it. Like, no, you don't realize this is like the world's biggest behind the music ever. You know,
yeah,
you guys did great. You should feel good that like you did the ebbs and flows. I mean, you even named your band after like my favorite, not ice cream. Sure did. So I mean, that's a
What's your favorite ice
Schubert
cream?
dip. Schubert.
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 I love that.
Well,
Love
sherbet is a
that.
flavor. But it's not really. But it's
Sherbet.
not really considered ice cream. It's considered sherbet. It's not really ice cream. It's a dairy thing. I was just
Yeah, yeah,
teasing about that. But
yeah,
you guys have succeeded. You guys are still friends. You're still making music. You're making your best
yeah,
music ever.
yeah.
How's that not
Right.
success? Look at all the bands that have platinum albums
Yeah.
that have no money that have gone. What's
Mm.
success? That's
Yeah.
it. That's
That's
my
success, right?
note. That's my
That's the
dad of
truth.
the podcast internet. Like you guys are succeeding in life, being musicians and writing music.
Yeah.
All right.
I love that. You
No.
need to talk to me more often, Sean. You're really good for my ego.
Right. Oh, it's true. I think it's very important, and I do enjoy your music, and I think I
Thank
want to
you.
wish you luck, and I want to I'll keep supporting you on the show, and you're welcome
Thank you
back
so much.
whenever.
so much, Sean. I
People,
hope we get to see you in Boston before too long.
that would be great. Not that far. Not that far at all from me. Like an hour and a half away, hour away. I'd make that trip for you.
Right. Thank you.
People, check out the band, check out the album, and support them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.